She snapped, "No phone until you learn to ask permission." I just said, "Sure." Done. It sounded simple, but it wasn't. The phone wasn't just a gadget for me. It was my diary, my escape hatch, my connection to the world beyond the four walls of our house. To her, though, it was the enemy, the thief that stole her son's time, respect, and perhaps even his innocence. The argument started small. It always did. That night, I had just picked up her phone from the table to check the time. I didn't think it was a big deal. She was in the kitchen, stirring a pot of lentils, the smell of fried onions and cumin filling the air. I thought she wouldn't even notice. But mothers notice everything. "What are you doing with my phone?" Her voice was sharp, slicing through the steam. "I was just checking the time," I muttered. Too casual, too careless. Her eyes narrowed. "That's not the point. You don't take things without asking." "It's just a phone," I said, shrugging. That shrug was the spark. The kind of shrug teenagers give that burns hotter than any words. It told her I didn't care. It told her she didn't matter. And she snapped, "No phone until you learn to ask permission. Not mine, not yours, not anyone's." She waited, expecting me to argue, to plead, maybe even to roll my eyes. But I didn't. I just said, "Sure." And it was done, at least on the surface. The silence that followed was heavier than her anger. It wasn't just about the phone. It was about respect, boundaries, and a mother who felt invisible in her own home. I didn't see it then. At 15, I only saw the punishment, not the lesson. The first night without my phone was torture. My fingers itched. My mind buzzed. Every sound in the house made me wonder if I was missing a notification, a message, a like, something that proved I still existed in someone else's eyes. The quiet was unbearable. But in that quiet, I began to notice things. The ticking clock in the hallway, the way the old fan creaked every time it rotated, the shadows of the rain against my window, and my mother's tired face. For the first time in months, I saw her, not just as the woman who nagged me, but as a person who carried exhaustion in her shoulders and worry in her eyes. She spent her evenings cooking, cleaning, and making sure the house functioned, while I hid behind a glowing screen. Days turned into a week into two. No phone. At first, I thought I'd go crazy. But something shifted. I started spending more time in the living room. I watched TV shows with her, even if I complained at first. I helped cut vegetables, half-heartedly, but still helped. She noticed. One night, as we sat at the table, she said quietly, "You're different these days." "Because I don't have my phone?" I smirked. "Because you're here," she said. Her words landed like a stone in my chest. I realized she hadn't wanted to punish me. She had wanted me back. It's strange how a single "sure" can change the rhythm of a house. I stopped living in the digital world for a while and started living in the real one. My grades got better. My mood lifted. I even laughed more. And my mother? She smiled more too. But here's the twist. When she finally handed me my phone back, weeks later, she didn't say a word. She just placed it on the table and walked away. I stared at it. The device that once felt like oxygen now looked small, heavy, but not in my hands, in my heart. I realized I didn't need it as much as I thought I did, and I remembered her words, "Until you learn to ask permission." It wasn't about the phone. It was about respect, about seeing the person who loved me more than the world itself, and not treating her like background noise in my story. So the next time I wanted to use her phone, I asked, and when she said yes, her smile told me the lesson was worth it. Sometimes love doesn't sound like "I love you." Sometimes it sounds like "no phone." And sometimes the most powerful answer isn't rebellion. It's just, "Sure."